Hi everyone, my name is Justin Odisho, and in this video, I'm going to be doing a live stream, little presentation style, top 10 things that I wish I knew earlier if I was starting over today, starting YouTube over, starting this creative journey over in general. This is a question that I enjoy hearing asked to people on podcasts, and I think no matter what you do, whether you want to start a YouTube channel or a business or whatever creative adventure, that some of these lessons can perhaps give you a spark of an idea or help you out in some way. So if you're watching live on YouTube right now, those are all these people, and I'm going to do the presentation slides first, just like 10 little bullet points, and talk about them, and then I might take a couple Q&A questions at the end, last couple minutes of this video, but I'm going to try to keep it concise and post it as a replay for you to watch on YouTube for the majority of you subscribers. So let's get into 10 things that I wish I knew earlier if I was starting over today. All right, so thing number one would be to just use my real name, my real face, and be myself, as in my real identity. This is a big question that I see a lot of people ask when they're starting a channel. What should I name my channel? What's a good name for my channel? What should it be? When I started my channel, I didn't have any plans for it. I had some song lyrics stuck in my head, and I just made my channel username some random song lyrics. So the problem with that is eventually I wanted it to make sense instead of being a bunch of random gibberish. If you don't know, it was called Just This Good. It was just lyrics from a song. So I wanted it to actually be my name so that I could capture the hard work that I was doing and have it associate with me. This isn't a hard and fast rule. Of course, there's examples on each end. Like you have rappers named Lil Windex, whatever, Little whatever. But on the other hand, you have actors, lots of famous people that just use their real name. Oprah Winfrey, Will Smith, Michael Jordan. Your real name can mean anything. Michael Jordan doesn't intrinsically mean anything, but you automatically think basketball, shoes, whatever when you hear it, because he put the work behind it. So if you use your real name, it's kind of like a blank slate that you can carry with you forever. That is if you like your name, who knows? That one basketball player changed his name to Meta World Peace. But your name can mean anything that you want it to, as long as you put the work behind it. And in my opinion, it's a really good blank slate. Before we move on to the next one, if you, a lot of people say, but I want to let people know what it's going to be about. If you're on YouTube, you can have playlist and series names. Like I could call this live stream the live review or whatever, and it would still all go under my channel name. The only exceptions to this are if you want to be anonymous, if you're authoring some sort of private content or something that you don't want attached to your name. Obviously, then you could use some sort of pen name or anonymous name. But you get the idea. This is my personal list, and take from it what you will. These are not rules. This is just my personal list. But before I actually continue too, this is the problem with live streaming. You don't get to be organized. I wanted to say that, I'll save that to the end. I was going to talk about how I don't regret any of these. These are just things that if I was to hypothetically start over. So let's continue. 2 would be get in front of the camera, like show your face earlier instead of just being behind the screencast. I think a good thing that anyone could do is just get in front of the camera, make an introduction video, be like, hey, yo, what's up? My name's Justin. This is what I kind of want to make this channel about. Welcome. I'm glad to have you. This is what I plan. This is what you can expect. Welcome to the channel. Subscribe. Here's everywhere else that you can find me. That's just a quick thing to get used to it. I remember when I first got on the camera a couple years ago, it was very like, what's going to happen? Like, is everyone going to make fun of me? Or people going to say I'm ugly? Do I look normal? Do I look funny? It is tough to publicly put your face out on the internet. And take none of this as legal advice, whatever. Like, this is all, I guess, permanent in a way. Think about it before you do it. Like, once you're out there on the internet, you're out there on the internet. But it's 2018 and going on. I think we're all going to live on the internet eventually. Like, I don't know. It's your face and your name. If you're not doing if you're doing illegal business, then don't take any of this advice that I have. But I personally, I would have got in front of the camera earlier, use my real name. Number 3 would be investing in a better microphone and just equipment in general sooner rather than later. I used to record my audio of my videos literally on an old iMac, the built-in speakers on iMac. It sounded terrible. I don't know what I was doing. Obviously, I had to learn, but a decent passable microphone was like 30 or 40 bucks. I used to hesitate a lot on investing in purchases like equipment. I don't know why I used to hesitate so much. Like, even this microphone was pretty expensive. I debated it for a decent minute, but I bought it, and it's one of the best purchases I've made. It's giving me this clean, crisp audio. You can get good microphones you can get, like, I used to use the Samson Go mic for a long time. It's like 30 bucks, but you can even get a even better step up for like 100. And then eventually, if you want, you can step up to something like a dynamic XLR microphone. This is a Shure SM7B, and I enjoy it. It's great for podcasting and all that. But just don't. I have here written, it'll come back. If you spend money already on stupid things like junk food, pizza throughout the month, don't be so scared to invest in your business or in yourself. It will come back. The best things I purchased are the most expensive things that helped me generate this, like this laptop, this microphone, my DSLR. I drained my college bank account on those, even when I had to pay tuition, even working close to minimum wage type of jobs, hospitality, customer service, retail, but this laptop is what has allowed me to build this audience, you that's watching right now, and I would do it again sooner rather than later. All right, number 4 would be branch out sooner. For the longest time on my channel, I only did Photoshop tutorials. I don't know why. That's what I started my channel as, and it never hit me. Like, the real thing that I enjoyed doing is making videos, but I just picked a topic and I started sharing tutorials, and I don't know why. I just kept sharing one after another, and I did it next week, and I just kind of stuck to it. But the moment I decided to just, like, I really wanted this to work, I started trying a bunch of different things. I did book reviews. I did Premiere tutorials. I just sat down and made a plan. Like, what else can I talk about? These live streams are a new type of thing. And after trying like 10 different things, some of those things really took off. Like the video editing tutorials, Premiere, all this knowledge that I had anyway. I just wanted to be making videos, and I thought I limited myself to that Photoshop audience. Now you're all here for Premiere Pro. And even now I could think, like, what am I limiting myself to? I don't have to just make Premiere Pro. I started a podcast. I started doing these live streamings. I've tried vlogging out. I reviewed products. I'm doing this video. I'm live streaming a video right now. I've never recorded an actual upload via live stream. So this is new. So this is an example. Branch out, do different things, etc. Okay, number 5. This is kind of a personal one, but maybe you can take something from it. I took a break from my channel. My channel was always a hobby, you know. Speaking of this whole monetization thing, monetization was never really an option when I started, except for like a couple months after they let you get some change from AdSense. But I took a break because I needed to figure out a way to pay for school. So I took a job, and I don't know why. I just kind of got bored and stopped uploading. If I wouldn't have taken that break in like 2012, 2013, I very well might be among all those other YouTubers that blew up in that incoming wave that started all around 2011 and just kept being consistent, and like blew up and had millions of subscribers because they planted their feet and they were able to receive the oncoming growth. It's like investing in a stock, right? If you would have invested in such and such back then and you just would have held it, you would have been up 10 times by now. Same idea now. Like, plant your feet where you actually enjoy being, and just mind your work, and you don't know what is going to be coming in the future. Like, obviously none of us can predict the future, but I don't know what I was thinking, like going to get a minimum wage job. I just never thought like I could do something else, you know? But that is point number 5. Next up, we have point number 6, consistency. This kind of ties in with point number 5. I know there's the argument of quality versus quantity, which I agree with. I think you should try to make as good of videos as you can, as often as you can. But I do think there's a difference between how channels starting from scratch and channels that are already established have the flexibility to maneuver. So me personally, going daily on uploads was something that forced me to ship a product every day. Like right now, I could have just sat down and went to sleep and been like, I don't feel like making a video. I don't have a good idea today. But since I put myself on that, I'm going to make something every day. I'm going to come up with an idea, make it, and send it off. And then if I don't like it, tomorrow I can do another one. It's I don't know what happens. Like, it's some sort of magic. It just forces you to get the ball rolling. And I don't know if it still works. I don't know, like, if you want to go the quality route, but for some reason, forcing myself to get on a consistent schedule, put the time in, it's when I started to see results. And it happens every time. So even if you don't go daily, just being more consistent in general helps. Okay, 7 would be to lay the groundwork from the start. Build it before you need it, not backwards. I kind of did this whole thing backwards. I somehow stumbled into building an audience, and then I had to rewind and figure out how I could monetize and make this a sustainable career option by the time I graduated college. If I were to start over today, the first thing I would have into place once I knew that I was going to be making a lot of stuff is get my website, get your firstname.lastname.com. Okay, at least have that, set that up, set up all my social media profiles at Justin Odisho on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Write down a plan of how I maybe one day might, all the different ways I might monetize. I don't have, you don't have to do them right away, but at least consider, like, here's 10 different ideas that I could possibly use to make money, especially with this whole Google AdSense, adpocalypse stuff that everyone's always freaking out about. If you're a painter or artist, or for my example, I teach a lot of software. I thought, okay, maybe one day I could sell plugins. I could do courses. I could do affiliate linking on Amazon and different websites. I could, I sat down and I thought about the different things that I could implement. This way, whenever you get traffic, it's like you're squeezing more juice out of the juice. You're out of the fruit. You're getting more juice out of the fruit. Every 1,000 people that come to your channel or website or whatever, instead of making the measly amount of money that Google AdSense was only going to offer you and relying on that, and it's not always measly, you can add up, you're taking it into your own hands and you're saying, Instead of making $1 per every 1,000 people that comes and checks me out, I'm going to make $10 per every 1,000 people that comes and checks me out. This is going to allow you to it's going to allow you to even be doing something creative for a full-time sustainable living if you plan the groundwork before you start. So build it before you need it. That is something that I would have done. I kind of ended up doing backwards. Number 8 here, your boy didn't change it from the same old purple. Let's give you guys some color. Yellow's too bright. Let's make it pink. Understand the value of people and build relationships. There's a quote that they say, your network is your net worth, which is, it's very true. And let me tell you why. I think you should try to collaborate often. And this doesn't mean your typical YouTube collaboration. Me and you are collaborating right now. I'm on the video and you're in the comment section. That's a collaboration. Making posts in a subreddit and getting your name known in a subreddit. Making a useful like infographic to post in a subreddit. Doing a guest blog article for someone else's website. Collaboration can be a lot of different things. It doesn't have to be like, hey, we did a YouTube video together and this is my channel and this is your channel. Basically, the relationship that you might build and the ideas that might spark out of it are going to be more important probably than the thing you even create. Let's say you and Sally come together and you guys review this new camera together and you each give your opinion and the video, and you make a video out of it. Cool, the video might do okay, but you know what's going to do better for you? Having that relationship of the other person, because people know ideas, people can help each other, and really it's not about the product that you make, it's about the network that you end up building. This is one that's hard to explain until you actually do it. Even to this day, I need to do it more. It's just, there's something magical about people. Like, don't use people, but like, what's the quote? Don't use people, use things. Whatever the quote is, but like, get to know people. Okay, 9 is, this is a very important one. It's at the end of this list kind of, but it's actually a very important one. Think bigger from the start. Like, of course you're not going to be getting a lot of growth in the beginning, but that doesn't mean that you should do the math off of that. I used to look at my channel and think, all right, let me do the math here. I'm doing like 5 to 10 subscribers a day. Multiply that by 365. It's like 4,000 subscribers a year. Multiply that by 10 years. Multiply that by 20 years. That means I'll cross 100,000 subscribers in 20 years. But you need to take into account the fact that your growth today does not represent what your growth might end up being, like exponentially. You can't measure these things based on current growth. I even do this now. I think, if by the time it takes me to get to 1 million subscribers, it's going to be 2 years. But that's based on today's growth. What if I start making videos every single day and they start building up? And that is what happened. All of a sudden, one day I got 100 subscribers in one day. And I was like, whoa, 100 subscribers in one day. And then I got 400 subscribers in one day. And I was like, whoa, what the heck? I remember I was feeling kind of sick. And I was like, I got to get better quick. I don't want to lose this momentum. And then all of a sudden I got like 1,000 subscribers in one day. And all of a sudden the math starts looking a lot different. And you're like 365 days in a year times 1,000 subscribers a day. Oh, maybe this is not going to take 20 years anymore. So think bigger, even going into like knowing that this could be a viable career path. Like if someone would have taken me and shook me and said, like, why are you going to go get a minimum wage job at a gym, cleaning freaking the locker room, when you could just spend 8 hours a day working on this and build it to bigger than you could ever have imagined. I would have been like, you know what, you're right. I don't know what I'm doing. Obviously, you know, real life, you learn things the hard way, and no regrets. Everything that I did is what it took to get me here. Maybe if I would have known all these things from the start, I wouldn't have got here, but take what you will from these ideas. These are my thoughts. All right, so number 10, this is the last one. That was the penultimate one. This is the ultimate one. I like that word. This is just make the decision and take the leap. I did YouTube for fun. I'm not even going to say I just did YouTube. It's like, this is the stuff that I was doing online since I was a kid. Going on forums, making fun videos and posting them, making video game edits and sharing them in the community. I've always been a part of these online communities, and making videos and creating stuff in Photoshop and posting on message boards. Just got to make sure I plug this in. And bear with me, this is a good point. I've always been doing this stuff. I knew what I want. Like, if I would have had a clone of myself look at myself and say, what do you mean you don't know what you want to do for the rest of your life? You're doing it already. This is what you want to do. But I was stuck in college. I was listening to like everything else, like society and parents and whatever. And I was scared, and I was thinking like, well, I need to go get an engineering degree. I need to get a degree, and I need to get a real job. And like, I don't know. No one ever shook me and told me that you can make something out of this. I'm not telling you to be a YouTuber. Okay. Maybe that's over for now. Maybe like 2011 was a different game. I don't believe that, but I'm just saying, I'm not telling you to be a YouTuber. I'm saying, if you are one of those people like myself that says, I don't know what I want to do for the rest of my life, look at the things that you're already doing and think, can I put together a master plan to make this a sustainable career option? And that's what I told myself by the time I graduated. I'm going to make this a sustainable career option. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I weaned off of my part-time job. I quit. I did all that. And I made the decision that I'm going to make this work. Okay, so yes, I didn't know how I was going to pay for school because this wasn't making me any money, and none of the math was adding up, and I didn't see any way that this would ever make me like a couple $1,000s to pay for my classes. But I took the leap and I made it work. So you can't get to second base if you keep your foot on first. That's a saying. I forgot where I heard it from. But if you just take that leap of faith, it is. I mean, you also have to think, what's the worst that could happen? Especially if you're younger, you don't have kids to feed, you don't have you don't have bills over your head. The worst that could happen is that you just like reverse the outcome. You figure it out that maybe that's not what you want to do, and you go do something else. So those are 10 things that I wish I knew earlier when I started this whole creative journey. If I was starting YouTube over today, again, big disclaimer, I don't regret anything that I did. Maybe, or for sure, exactly everything that happened in my life is exactly everything that I needed to be able to be wherever I am. So I'm not saying I'm super successful or I'm at the end of any journey. I'm just saying maybe that those lessons of whatever that I learned can spark an idea in your head on whatever journey that you happen to be on. So I ranted for like 25 minutes there. if you are watching on YouTube, consider that the video. And if you want to stick around, I'm going to do some Q&A with the live stream for like maybe 5 minutes, and we'll call this a video. So I haven't been reading the chat at all, but let me read the chat. Throw some questions in the chat. Which number was your favorite? Let me know. Do you have a lesson of your own that you've learned? Let me know. So Tech for Your Needs says 52 weeks equals once a week a vid is a must. This is what you should be aiming for. That's very true. So if you break it down, like if you're a new YouTuber and you're trying to break through, 52 weeks, so once a week means you're only making 50 videos a year, right? So twice a week means you're making 100 videos a year. Every day means you're making 365 videos in a year. That's why if you look at someone who goes daily versus once a week, that's why they have 7 times more videos on their channel, and that's why they've probably experienced 7 times more results. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. What do you think of the new YouTube policy? I actually did a live stream yesterday about that, so you should check that out. I talk about it in that one fully. I think it's not a big deal, though, in short. Lucas asks, any idea how to give value like you did in the fitness industry? Yeah, of course. I'm subscribed to a lot of fitness people, and I follow a lot of fitness people. That was actually that was a much bigger hobby and interest of mine probably a few years ago. I still enjoy it, but I would say there's so much stuff you could do. What you eat in a day, show off what your diet is, answer beginner questions for people, like just common things. In the fitness world, there's so many common myths and questions and bro science, like should you work out every body part at once every day, or should you isolate? There's so many like debates on stuff. So I really think there's infinite content that you can do when it comes to health and fitness. But what I would do if I was you is look at the top 10 popular fitness channels and kind of see what they're doing, like what seems to be working for them, and think about how you could think about, do you have anything to offer that's equal or better value than that, and get to it. Okay, Arnold GFX says, why haven't you tried to become a full-time filmmaker? You have the skills for it. The thing is, I never wanted to be a filmmaker, and I still don't want to be a filmmaker. I think there's a difference between making films, which I've been getting a lot into film, actually. I've been going down and watching like all the classics, and like I have a newfound respect for actors and producers and filmmakers and directors. But just because what I do has to do with like teaching content and video creation and video editing doesn't mean that it's always a film. Like there's all kinds of video production and editing. What if you're editing a cat video for YouTube? What if you're editing a TV commercial? What if you're editing this live stream right now? The technical things that I need to do this. I've just always really just enjoyed sharing my creations about stuff that I'm passionate about to the internet, to an audience, and seeing if I can build an audience. That's what I most enjoy, is building an audience and sharing content. So that's what I'm doing. From Detroit, yes, I'm from Detroit. Daniel Schiffer, what's up, man? Aside from obvious things like uploading more and interacting with viewers, are there any little things someone can do to give their content a boost and get it out there to new people? I definitely think quality matters, and it's something that I'm working on. I do definitely believe in like the quality over quantity thing. As far as little things, it's all up to how you hustle the distribution, I guess. Like I remember when I was just starting, I really utilized forums, which aren't really a thing anymore, but places like Reddit. Like I totally think you could go to Reddit, go to like the street photography subreddit, and make a really lengthy article compiling perhaps like 10 of the greatest street photography resources out there in 2018, and then and then at the end of it say, by the way, guys, my name's this, I run my own photography thing, you guys can check it out here. Absolute guaranteed way to get a couple dozen or a couple hundred new subscribers potentially. Anyone who's starting from scratch, I would recommend doing that. Doing content for existing audiences, it's like blogging to an existing community and trying to convert them over to you. And I guess just SEO. But I'm going to answer one. Should I do one more or should I keep it going? I don't know. You guys tell me. It's 30 minutes. Should I keep the Q&A going longer? I'm going to keep it going a little bit longer. I feel like that's too short. If my content topic is similar to other channels, do you think my content would still go far? Absolutely. As long as you're not copying, it does pay to stand out, but it also pays to be part of a big community. For example, how many of you guys maybe even found me through there's like a community of video editor and this type of related channels, and really the more there are, the better. That just means a bigger circle for us to be in. If guitar and piano weren't such popular instruments, then we probably wouldn't have as many famous guitarists or pianists. That's why we don't have many famous kazoo players, or like what's like a weird instrument, the triangle, it's not that popular of an instrument. So it helps you that the community of content is bigger. By the way, guys, take all my advice with a grain of salt. Like, if you don't want to be if there's a saying like, don't take advice from anyone that you don't want to be where they're at. So like, I don't have all the right answers 100%. These are all just my opinions and things that I've learned through my experience that I think. And so whether you agree or disagree with them, maybe it can get you thinking about something that leads you on a good path. So regarding a cohesive social media platform, do you think it's best for newcomers to brand themselves personally or under a business name? This is something that I read and debated about a lot as well. And I would say I would almost always go for your personal name unless you're actually starting a business. For example, like, you can't walk up into Walmart. Okay, hold on. Rewind. You can't walk up into... Matter of fact, I just proved myself wrong. McDonald's. Isn't that the guy's last name? I know Ray Kroc. I seen the movie, but I guess your business can be a name. But like, let's say you're starting a book publishing company, like Penguin Classics. Obviously, it makes sense because you're going to have employees and the business is not going to be about you, to name it something like something magazine. But if the business is going to be about you, it makes a lot of sense to just have it be your name, It's a very tricky subject. And I would say no matter what, though, even if you are starting a business, you should first establish your personal brand, and then underneath that, you could branch out different businesses. Like me, Justin Odisho, if I wanted, I could start a company called, like, I don't know, like, what else? I could start a company called, like, extremeeffects.com, and I could start a company called JO Fitness Supplements.com or whatever, and those would be separate from me, but I still need to have my home base. Could you post this after your stream? Yes, it's going to go public as an upload. Why don't you create tutorials on Final Cut Pro X? I don't use Final Cut Pro X, and hopefully my content can still translate over to any video editing program. Let's see, I'll answer a couple more, and then I'll call it a wrap it. Something about animators or animated storytelling community. I don't know why people always say like YouTube is killing animation channels. All the animation channels I see have like millions of subscribers, like Odd Ones Out, who's that girl, Jaden Animations or whatever. Stuff like that does really well. It seems like they all have millions of subscribers, so that's who I would look at. Patreon can be really cool. Like, have you guys seen that channel In a Nutshell? Kurzgesagt? I don't know how to pronounce it. They make a lot of money on Patreon because they make really good stuff. I think Patreon, if you are offering something of value and the community really think about the last time that you supported someone on Patreon. You're not just giving $1 to some random kid who wants to play video games for a living. You're giving $1 to support someone who you really enjoy their content and you think they're doing something that you would miss if they weren't able to keep doing it. So I haven't personally done it because I'm working with creating products and whatnot, but I think a lot of people are doing it well. I really love your videos, but they're way too long. The live streams are long, but the videos are concise. But again, this is me trying something new, like I said earlier. Lewis, have you heard the news on YouTube AdSense? Yes, check my previous live stream about it. Do I think YouTube is still a viable option right now? Yeah, absolutely. If I was starting over today, YouTube would still be one of my platforms. It's still the second biggest search engine in the world, or something like that. Google is the first largest search engine in the world, and YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. So, and I mean, to be honest, I started for fun, and YouTube is still one of my favorite sites. It's the site that I'm always watching other people on, and it's still fun to me. If it wasn't fun, then I probably would be doing something else. Like, live streaming is becoming very fun and interesting to me, and it always has kind of too, but since maybe I would have tried Twitch out if YouTube never implemented these features. I remember I used to play around on Periscope all the time. But let's see. How do you come up with ideas for videos? So 3-second rule asks a good question. Number one, start a notepad like on your computer or physically of ideas and write them down every time you get them. Quickly, you'll start to find that you have a backlog of ideas that you can't keep up with producing even if you wanted to. And the number 2 thing is that forcing yourself to ship a certain amount of videos or products every week or day forces you to come up with ideas. Like right now, I totally would have just sat on my bed and scrolled on my phone and went to sleep if I didn't say I haven't made something today. So I sat there, I opened up the notepad, I just kept thinking of what could I do today for like an hour. So if you're not coming up with ideas, it means that you're probably not spending time every day brainstorming, and you're also not you also might not be consuming, like, living life, like, going for a walk, talking with people, reading good books, watching informative YouTube channels, listening to good music. These are all things that can inspire your work as well. Hey, Aquarium Sunshine's Value, thanks so much. I actually noticed that on Social Blade the other day. That's constantly changing, but that's cool. It's such a big number, but it's a cool number. But anyways, I think that's going to wrap it up for this live stream. We're approaching 40 minutes. This is going to go up as a replay, so I'm testing that out. A lot of people are going to say this is way too long, but if you guys want to watch the whole thing, it'll be posted on my channel shortly as a live stream replay, so you can watch the 10 things that I mentioned in the beginning and go over them, take notes or whatever you want to do. But anyways, if you haven't subscribed to my channel and you're new, subscribe for more content every day. I'm always trying to push new stuff out. If you've got your phone on you right now, definitely follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Instagram DM is probably the easiest way overall to reach me. And thank you guys for watching the live stream once again. I will see you next time. Jonah quickly asked, what would you do, a more concise version? Sorry, wait, I misunderstood that question. Anyways, thank you guys all. I'll answer you, Jonah, on DM. I want to make this perfectly 40 minutes.